Hello, I think we're live. I think we're going. Right. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know how the stream is. Thumbs up. Can you hear me all right? When we get going, if you think that the music's too loud or my voice isn't loud enough, just let me know. We'll just hang on for a couple of minutes to see if there's any more joining us. So we're going to go through a really nice, gentle stretch today. Floor-based mainly. We do a little bit in standing, but mainly floor-based. Make sure you've got nice space cleared. Doesn't matter if you haven't got a mat. Just make use of what you've got at home, and try and wear something comfy. If you want to go and quickly change, you've got a couple of minutes just to do that. And grab some water if you want that by your side as well. Hopefully you're enjoying the live sessions that we're doing. Hopefully you haven't missed the two that Danny did. If you have, pop us a message and we'll send you the links over. And we'll try and keep these going to keep you guys occupied during this time. Thanks, Danny. Stream's great. It's good. Okay, we'll give it another 10 seconds. Is it going to go? No. Just bear with me 1 second. For some reason technology is not liking me today. Hopefully this will do the job. Right, let's go. Okay, so we're going to start laid on our backs. If you want to take a pillow to support your head, you can do. Let's go. The music stopped. Sorry about this, guys. 1 sec. Thought I had this all sorted. Hopefully that's not too loud. If it is, just let me know. Okay, come down to your back. Take a nice deep breath in. And let's get into the stretch. Okay, so we're going to start knees to chest. Look at them nice and gently. Have a little rock from side to side if you want to. We're focusing today on hips and shoulders. Throughout the sessions, we'll take on different areas of the body and different types of stretching. So today is quite a deep stretch. We're going to take our time in each of the positions. Okay, we're going to drop one leg down to the mat, other knee to chest. Keeping your pelvis tucked under so we get a really nice stretch through the hip. I'm just going to gently take it out towards the armpits, a little bit out towards the side, just to open up the groin a little bit. Going back to centre. I'm going to go opposite hand to knee. Roll it gently across your body. Trying to maintain shoulders on the mat. And if you want that little bit extra, looking down towards the back hand. Going back up to centre nice and gently. Going to change sides, so other knee hooks in towards your chest. And again, taking it out towards the armpit just to open up the groin a little bit. I'm just getting things warmed up at the moment. And then all the way across, down towards the mat. Just let the foot hang wherever feels comfortable. And then again, looking towards that back hand, if you want that little bit of an extra stretch through your spine. And back to centre. We're going to bring the feet flat onto the mat this time. Just tuck your hips under a little bit so your back's nice and flat on the mat. Hands relaxed by your side. I'm just going to rock the knees gently from side to side. Again, just warming up the lumbar muscles. Ready for the stretch. Just do a couple more each side. We're going to move on to a glute stretch, so opposite ankle over knee. Now if you find this a stretch already stay here and use your hands to push this knee back actively. If not, hands come through and pull back towards you. Keeping the upper back and the head relaxed. And if you want that a little bit more, you can use your elbow from this leg to push out. That should really intensify that stretch. Good, gently relax down. We're going to go to the other side. Changing over. Ankle over knee, hands come through, pull back towards. Again, if you want that bit more, use the elbow to push the knee out. Good, and relax the knee down. And again, we're going back to our gentle rocks from side to side, hands by your side. Just letting the knees drop. Good, back up to center. We're going to keep the knees pressed together. We're going to walk the feet out to stretch the rotators of the hips. Okay, so we're pushing the knees down towards the mat. If you have any knee problems, don't push this one too much. Should give you a really deep pelvis stretch. If you've not stretched this in this way before, you probably find this one a little bit unusual. Feels quite deep inside your pelvis. If you're feeling it in the knees, you can always go to a sort of gentle push one side and the other rather than both at the same time. Okay, and gently walking the knees back in. We're going to rock up into sitting. So hang on to your knees, have a gentle roll up, stretching the legs out in front of you. And we're going to start with a twist. So we're going into a twist now. So we're going opposite ankle over knee. This is your first option. If you feel that's enough, then that's absolutely fine. If not, tuck the other leg round to create like a knot with your legs. Okay, opposite elbow to knee. And we're sitting up nice and tall, twisting to look over the back shoulder. So what we're doing is we're using that little bit of leverage from the elbow to help us with the twist. Go gently up to the other side. Just lowering the elbow into that stretch. Come back to center. Okay, I'm going to try one more in this position. So legs out straight in front of you, making sure you're sat nice and tall on your sit bones. We're going to take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to fall forward, bringing the chest towards the thighs. Now you land wherever you want to land. So if you only get to here, pop the hands down and make sure your back's nice and supported. You can try and creep the hands forward to get as far as you can into that stretch. Don't worry if you're not the most flexible person, it's all about working on your own goals. Good, gently walking the hands back in. And we're going to come up into standing, okay? So come to the end of your mat. Sorry if you've lost my head, you'll see it in a second. So we're going to go hands on front of thighs, chin to chest, and we're gently going to unravel, rolling down through each vertebra. A little bend in the knees as we come down. And we go back up as we go. Down again. If you're not too flexible, just bend the knees for this one to bring the hands flat. I'm just going to have a little bend of one knee and then the other, just walking through the legs, stretching off each hip. Good, and then straightening the legs and just trying to hang as much as you can into that position. Feel on the backs of the legs into the hamstrings. We're gently going to walk the hands out. Okay, so we come into a nice sturdy position. So I want you to think about pushing the hands away, bringing the heels down towards the mat. Okay, so your shoulders should be engaged. And we're just gently peeling one heel off the mat and then the other. Keep your head tucked between your shoulder blades and your bum high in the sky. Then have a press of both, pushing the hands from the ground away, really pressing those heels into the mat, feeling that stretch deep in the calves and the ankles. And then a little walk again. Okay, we're going to get stuck into the hips now, so we're going to take a big step forward with the left foot and let it land between the hands. If you're not quite flexible enough to do that in one go, you can always pick the leg up and do it yourself with your arms. Now we want the knee to be underneath, over the top of the ankle. And from here we're going to just drop the back knee and tuck the toe under. You should feel a nice stretch on the hip flexor there already. If not, just walk that foot a little bit further forward. Okay, once we've found that nice hip flexor stretch here, we're going to bring the hands high up towards the ceiling. And if you can, bring them up over the top of the back of your head. Feeling that stretch right through your hip flexor, so right through the front of the thigh, into the stomach, up into the chest. Remember to keep those breaths nice and even. Sweep the hands behind you. Clasp the hands and pushing down and away, bring the chest towards the ceiling. Think about bringing the collarbones down. Gently releasing. And this time we're going to go opposite hand to knee. I'm going to look towards that back hand. So keeping that stretch on the hip towards the mat, twisting to look over your back shoulder. Again, we can use this arm for a little bit of leverage on the knee. Then just take a nice deep breath with every stretch. And again, bringing the hands high, sweeping them up. And then gently walking the hands forward back into your hip flexor stretch. We're going to do this a couple of times, each time trying to get that little bit more of a stretch. And gently walking the hands back in to stretch that hamstring. If you're quite mobile, bring the chest more towards the thigh. You should feel that stretch a bit more on the hamstring. And then back forwards again. We're going to do that one more time. So just really come forward into that hip flexor stretch. Really focus on bringing the hip towards the mat. Good. Last time into the hamstring. If you're struggling here, you can always bring some pillows over to pop your hands on, just to give that little bit more of a balance. Good, and then forward. Hands come forwards too, and we're just going to do one more stretch in the hamstring. We're going to tuck the back toe to straighten the back leg, and then we're going to try and straighten the front leg as well to create a nice triangle with our legs. Keeping this straight should give you a bit of a hamstring stretch, and again we're going to lower the chest towards the thigh. Always go within your own limits. None of the stretches should be painful, but you might get a little bit of stretching discomfort. And then we're going to bend the knee and drop back down. And we're going to come into our pigeon pose. So a lot of you have done this before. You're going to walk the ankle across the opposite side of the mat, bring the knee down to the mat, and then bring the other hip down towards the heel. Going down to the forearms. I'm just going to enjoy the stretch. Again, focus on making sure that our hip is towards the mat as much as we can. Let's walk the elbows across towards the knee, get into a different area of the hip. And gently across the other side, towards the toe. And back to centre. We're going to come up onto the hands, keeping the hip down towards the mat. We'll look up towards the ceiling, stretching right through the stomach, up towards the head. Imagine there's a piece of string pulling you right from your tailbone, all the way to the ceiling. We're going to go for a little bit of an extra quad stretch here. If you find this one too uncomfortable, just miss it out and stay where you are. If not, you can add a little bit extra. So we're going to try and grab the heel or the ankle of the foot at the back. But again, focusing on keeping the hip down towards the mat on the right hand side. To a really nice intense quad stretch. I admit this one gets me every time. Good, relax the leg down, plant the hands, and we're just going to step back, bringing the heels hip distance, hands pushing into the mat, walk the heels. One and then the other into the mat nice and gently. Keeping those shoulders engaged by pushing the ground away. Then we repeat that on the other side. So stepping the left foot forward. And dropping. Sorry, I've done the wrong. Sorry, right leg forward. Sorry. Okay, dropping the back knee. And finding that hip flexor stretch. So our ankles underneath our knee. As we've got that hip flexor stretch, hip towards the mat. Okay, once we've got that, again, we're going to bring the hands high, up towards the ceiling, looking over the back of the crown of the head. Hands sweep behind you, stretch the chest. Hands behind, push down and away. Taking the collarbones to the ceiling. Then release. You're going to bring opposite hand to knee, twist it up towards that back hand. Good again, sweep the hands high. Always focusing on keeping this hip coming towards the mat, so keep that hip flexor stretch. Don't worry if you're a little bit wobbly. And don't worry if one side feels a little bit tight, that's quite normal. Bringing the hands down. So we're going to go into our hamstring and hip flexor sequence. So gently walking the hands back. Straightening that front leg, keeping the chest nice and level with the leg. Good, and then forward into the hip flexor again, so really find that hip flexor stretch and try and push it a little bit more each time we come forward. And then walking back, stretch the hamstring. and forwards. And then one more time, just repeat that. Again, if you want that a little bit more, lower the chest in towards the thigh. Good, and forwards. Okay, we're going to come into our pigeon stretch on this side, so walking the ankle all the way across to the other side of the mat. Bring it down onto the mat in a right angle if we can. If not, just bring it back towards you and put pressure on your knee. And then lowering the hip towards the heel. Relaxing into the forearms. And enjoy that stretch. It's a really good stretch. Open up the hips. Walking the elbow across towards the toe. And all the way across towards the knee. And back to centre. Go plant the hands. Bring the chest towards the ceiling. Feeling that stretch right through the hip, into the stomach. And if you want that little bit extra, let's go for the quad stretch. So grasp back for that ankle. Draw it towards your bum, but make sure we're keeping this hip down. Good, gently release. And again, we're going to plant the hands, tuck the back toe, and we're going to step back. Bring the heels towards the mat, pushing the hands away, keeping the... Let's walk the hands across to the left. You can really nice deep breaths up at the sides of the ribs. Food into cost the muscles, so the muscles between the ribs. And all the way across to the right. Again, nice deep breath. Reach those fingertips as far across as you can. And back to centre. We'll just take a few deep breaths in the centre here. And gently clasping the hands together, draw the elbows in towards you. And just feel that engage around the shoulder blades. Last one in this position, keep the contact with the head and the mat nice and gentle, don't press your head into the mat. We're going to bring the hands behind us, clasp the hands, and if you can, try and lift them up, off, and bring towards the top of your head. Obviously go within comfortable range, and if you're not happy here, just leave them pressed onto your back. If you can, really stretch your chest. Remember to keep that contact with the head and the mat light. And just release and gently sweep them back into child's pose, so reaching the fingertips forward. We're going to come forward to all fours. And from here, we're going to get a little bit of a twist and a stretch around the back of the shoulder blades where people tend to get tight if they've been sat for a long period. So one hand nice and sturdy, fingers spread, and we're going to bring the other hand underneath, bring the head and the shoulder towards the mat, keeping your hips nice and high. If you find that too uncomfortable, you can lift the head off and just stretch as far as you can bear. You can use this planted hand to give us a little bit more leverage. Just get a really nice stretch around the back of the shoulder blades there. And the other side. Nice and gently lowering into that stretch, reaching the hand forward as far as you can, and using the other hand to give that little bit of leverage for a twist. A little bend in those knees, and again just letting the crown of the head and the arms go heavy, and having a hang in that forward fold. Another sway from side to side you can do. And if you feel like having a little walk through each leg, then you can do, just to ease off each hip. And gently rolling back up again, stacking each vertebra. Take your time. Good. So we're going to finish off by just coming down onto the mat again. I'm going to face you guys just for the last couple of stretches. So feet hip distance in front of you, hands behind you, doesn't matter which way they're facing. I'm just gently going to rock the knees from side to side. So similar to like we did laid on our backs, but in sitting. We're going to leave them to one side. We're going to tuck the back leg in towards us, and then the front leg in towards the other leg. So we've got a nice sort of off-shape end with our legs. And take the left hand over the right leg and twist towards the back of the room, pushing this knee into the ground. Good. Gently unravel. I'm going to do one more in this position, so keeping the knees and feet where they are. Place the hand back behind you with the right. I'm going to bring the left hand forward, bringing the hips towards the front of the room. Okay, you're going to stretch over the top of your head as far as you can. Should really feel a nice stretch right through the side of your body. If you want that little bit more, tuck that back leg in. And drop the hips down. I'm going to flip that to the other side. So all the way over to the other side. So tucking in both feet in towards bum and then thigh. Hands behind you. Hands behind you. We twist and look over that back shoulder. Good. And unravel. And again, we're going to take the hips towards the front of the room. So hand plants. Sweep the hip forward, taking the arm across your body. Lowering the hips. I'm just going to finish with a gentle rock of the feet from the knees from side to side. So back to that one we started with. Good. And we're done. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. We'll be back on Wednesday next week, same time. If you've got any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. We'll be doing a little bit more sort of flowing stretch next time, so less time in each sort of pose, get you a little bit warmer. Okay, take care, look after yourselves.